7.5 Interest compounded continuously practice solutions. Alright, so for our first problem here, it says Emma received $7,750 to invest it in an account that earns 4% interest compounded continuously. What is the total amount of her investment after 5 years? So we're using A PERT. Remember, A is your final amount is equal to your principal, the amount that you deposit into something, times e to the power of your rate as a decimal times your time in years. So pick out all of your parts to this. Your P is the 7,750. Your R is the rate, which was the 4%, which as a decimal is 0.04. And your time is the 5 years. So that's just the number 5. So we're going to plug this in to A is equal to P, which is 7,750, times e to the power of 0.04 times t, which was 5. If we do this and we use our calculator, we are going to get that A is equal to 7,750 times e to the power of 0.04 times 5 gives us $9,465.87. So 9,465.87. For 2, it tells us Aiden has $7,565 in his checking account. He invests $5,000 of it in an account that earns 3.5% interest compounded continuously. What is the total amount of his investment after 3 years? So again, use that A is equal to P times E to the power of R times T. Your principal in this case is the amount that he has that he's depositing. So that's the $5,000. Then he has your rate is 3.5%, which as a decimal is 0.035. And then our time is 3 years. So that's just 3. So we're plugging it in. A is equal to 5,000 times e to the power of 0.035 times 3. So using our calculator, 5,000 times e to the power of 0.035 times 3 gives us $5,553.55. For 3, it says suppose you deposit $500 in an account that pays 3.5% compounded quarterly. The equation A is equal to P times 1 plus R over 4 to the power of N gives the amount A in the quarter after N quarters for an initial investment of P that earns an interest at a rate of R. So we're going to use logarithms to solve for N in this part or this question. Then we're finding out how long it'll take for the account to contain at least $2,000. So our A here is what that is going to be, that 2,000. Your P is the amount that's invested, which is the 500. Your E is just the e to the power of, and then your R is your rate, which is 3.5%, which is 0.035. And then your time, which your N, is what you're going to find. So plugging this all in to this equation that it gives us, A is 2,000 is equal to 500 times 1 plus R, which is 0.035, all over 4 to the power of N. From here, we are going to do what's in the parentheses first. So we could, we don't have to do that. We could also divide each side by the 500, but it's totally up to you if you want to do that. If we did simplify the parentheses, we would have 200 is equal to 500 times the 0.035 divided by 4 is 0.00875. If we add 1 to that, that's just going to give us 1.00875 to the power of n. So from here, we can divide each side by the 500. Oops, this is 2,000, not 200. So these would cancel, so we would have 4. So 5 goes into 24 times is equal to 1.00875 to the power of n. From here, we can take the log of both sides. So this is going to turn into log 4 is equal to log 1.00875 to the power of n. That n would actually go in front of the log. So we have log 4 is equal to n times log 1.00875. To get n by itself, we're going to divide each side by that log 1.00875. And we're going to use our calculator to get that n is equal to log 4 divided by log 1.00875, which is approximately 159. So n is equal to 159 quarters, which is how many parts of a year? So a year has 4 quarters, so that would be 12 divided by 4, which is 3 months. So each time with these, it's 159 times 3 to get the amount of months, if you wanted to do that as well. It doesn't ask you for that, it just asks you for how long, it doesn't specify, so we can keep it as the quarters for the 159 quarters. For our last question here, number 4, it says, what is the total value of an investment of $5,000 that earned 6% interest compounded continuously for 5 years? So again, we're going to use a PERT. A is equal to P times E to the power of R times T. Our P is our principal, that's the $5,000. Our R is the rate of 6%, which is 0.06. Our T is our time, which is 5 years, which is just 5. So we're going to plug this in. A is equal to 5,000 times E to the power of 0.06 times 5. So if we plug this into our calculator, 5,000 times E to the power of 0.06 times 5 gives us A is equal to $6,749.29. Remember, with all of these, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So with this one, in your calculator you get 0.294. That 4 would keep the 9 what it is.